The stated goal of climate engineering, again, everybody wants to know why, and there's a lot of answers to that question. A lot of people want to put climate engineering in this box or that box, but it's not just this or that, it's this and that and many other things. Climate modification has been going on a large scale since at least the late 40s. We have enough historical documentation to prove that. There are many aspects to geoengineering. And again, for those who don't know exactly what it is, it's the manipulation of Earth's weather systems. There's no speculation. This is not theory. We have lab tests from around the globe to prove this fact. So when we have these kind of programs going on, for the length of time they've been going on, the effects start to become catastrophic. Along with these programs, the saturation of the atmosphere with conductive, toxic, metallic particulates. There are other elements to climate engineering that work in conjunction with that, to manipulate those particulates. Most of you have probably heard of HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. HAARP is an ionosphere heater. If you think your cell phones are dangerous, the ionosphere heaters are much more dangerous. There's at least 2 to 3 dozen of these large ground-based facilities around the globe. Some of them can transmit 3.5 billion watts of power into the atmosphere. Available data indicates that they can heat the atmosphere to 15,000 degrees Fahrenheit or more, the ionosphere. Why would they do this? Back to how are they modifying the weather? So that causes changes in pressure. They can manipulate the jet stream. And now we live in a scenario where so much weather modification is going on that literally we are at the point now where we have no natural weather. When you taint any part of the system, you taint the entire system. And the fallout, again, from these programs is so immense that those in power will do anything they can to hide this for as long as they can, for obvious reasons. We have collaboration between global governments. We know this collaboration is going on. In fact, when they have climate meetings, like we've had in Cancun and Copenhagen, we've noted aluminum futures increasing 25 to 30% after these meetings. They're not talking about cutting carbon. They're making backroom deals to ramp up climate engineering even more. And these systems can only harm the planet, just like a pharmaceutical treatment, as has been talked about during this whole event. Take this for that, and by the way, here's 20 things that will happen if you do. The planet's no different. So the downstream effect right now is absolutely horrific. Who would do this? It's a question many people want to know. All roads lead back to those who print the money, those who start the wars, those who can fund anything they want. And we know that since 1993, the Pentagon can't account for $8.5 trillion. How do you lose $8.5 trillion? And that's simply what we know about. So those in power, again, can fund anything they want. All roads lead back to the central bankers. That's who controls the military. How long has this been going on? Again, since the late 40s. That's a long time to manipulate the weather. Most of us here in this room have never experienced truly natural weather, and the weather system is much more malleable than people have been led to believe. They've been led to believe you can't control the weather, you can't harm the weather, you can't alter the weather. This is an absolute lie. Why would they manipulate these systems? Again, solar radiation management, the primary stated purpose is to block some of the sun's incoming thermal radiation. It's created what's called global dimming. We know now from science study that 20 to 25% of the sun's direct rays no longer reach the surface of the planet. That's how much direct sunlight is being eliminated. We know we have weather warfare going on around the globe, and any form of climate modification is weather warfare. And any form of climate modification is also biological warfare. Whatever they put up there comes down on us. And we're breathing it, and we know we're breathing it, and there's no speculation. This is not theory. We have lab tests from around the globe to prove this fact.
At the beginning of February, several small earthquakes have shaken Maine close to the Canadian border, and just today, another earthquake recorded near Rangeley.
Earthquakes are becoming more and more frequent in Kansas, with a 3.9 magnitude quake shaking Oklahoma and Kansas just last month. Now, Derby schools want to be prepared.
Substantial earthquake rattling the Sooner State today. A 3.8 magnitude quake hit near Medford around 2:40 this afternoon, according to the USGS. And it was not alone. 4 other sizable quakes struck today, ranging from 2.6 to 3.5 magnitude. No immediate word of any damage. Oklahoma this year has already had more than 90 earthquakes of magnitude 3.0 or greater.
The village of Macadam in southwest New Brunswick has become the epicenter of what is called earthquake swarms. And it's not the first time people who live around Macadam have felt the vibrations from quakes, but the residents say this most recent swarm is the worst they've ever experienced.
Just like somebody's picking your house up and holding it in the air and dropping it back down.
Others said it was as if a train had exploded through the town, or their home had been hit by an 18-wheel transport truck.
They're like explosions, and they just kept happening.
Tell me what's going on in Macadam. It's quite a mystery there.
And good morning, Heather. That's right, certainly a mystery, and these aren't the kind of earthquakes, or the descriptions of these events aren't the kind of earthquakes that we're used to with the rumbling and the movement. Instead, as you said, residents are saying that they sound like explosions.
I have felt too since I've been here today. It's like a vibration stirring under your feet.
Just before 4 o'clock this morning in Taiwan, people were shaken out of bed by a magnitude 6.4 earthquake.
This is video of a deadly 6.4 magnitude earthquake that hit near the southern city of Tainan, Taiwan, Saturday. From the air, the extent of the damage is clearly visible. 9 buildings in Tainan collapsed, but the damage is especially evident on the ground. Cars crushed. More than 500 now homeless. Seismologists say the earthquake struck close to the surface.
The entire building was just shaking very violently. It was quite loud.
The quake struck just as the Taiwanese were preparing to celebrate one of their biggest holidays, the Lunar New Year. Now it's a nation in mourning.
I felt it this morning, but a 5.1 magnitude earthquake shook homes all across Oklahoma today. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the 5.1 rating makes it the 3rd largest earthquake in state history. Right now, homeowners say that all the shaking is starting to damage their homes.
People who fell as a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hit near Christchurch today. The quake struck shortly after 1 p.m. Pictures have emerged of a cliff face crumbling into the sea at Sumner Beach.
Rough ride for passengers caught in a storm on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship off the coast of North Carolina. And Natalie's here. This is some dramatic video.
It sure does. Hey guys, good morning. Well, the Weather Service had issued a warning for hurricane force winds, and some passengers say the ship's crew told them about the storm and said they would try to beat it, but conditions were far worse than anyone expected.
New details tonight on the rough day at sea for thousands of people on board a Royal Caribbean cruise ship.
That's right. Tonight, a Florida senator is demanding answers, asking why did the ship sail into rough weather in the first place?
When the storm is brewing, you don't go out of port.
Florida Senator Bill Nelson is asking the question many Royal Caribbean passengers have on their minds.
First experience. Yeah, only the movies.
But the Anthem of the Seas captain says he didn't realize the magnitude of the storm ahead of time. And he's now defending his decision to set sail with a storm brewing in the Atlantic.
The whole thing was not bigger than this and was up here and it just exploded.
In a video broadcast internally to all 4,500 passenger staterooms Monday, Captain Klaus Anderson, who ordered everyone on board the ship to stay in their rooms, says he's never experienced anything like it.
Honestly, have not seen low pressure that was not forecasted. Anything near what we actually experienced.
Several viewers were startled this morning by a loud boom that shook their homes. Several calls and messages came into our information center asking us what was going on.
Now, this remains a mystery. I have put in several calls to various state and federal agencies. So far, no one can confirm what this was.
The whole ground was shaken out here. It was a cement out there, and the house was shaken.
Sue Eastman didn't know what was going on. It was just before 10 a.m. when she heard the loud boom.
It was just a short kind of a boom like that, and you could hear everything kind of shake.
As Sue was trying to figure out what happened, so were several others.
I had people from all over, from the lake area here. My neighbors were saying that they felt it, they heard it. People in Morley, up by Everett even. I have family up by Sears, and they heard it up there.
According to the National Weather Service and the U.S. Geological Survey, it was not an earthquake.
It made a rumble, almost like a thunder.
So far, no military bases in Michigan seem to know where the alleged sonic boom came from. According to the Michigan National Guard, there are no planes fast enough based in Michigan that can create a sonic boom. For those who experienced it, it was something they've never felt before.
But it was just like my whole house shook.
And health wearables are indeed set to make a difference in 2016. But it seems like another trend could soon change the way we treat illnesses, and that is embeddable tech implants.
Real-life cyborgs are now among us. These citizen scientists are altering cells, DNA, even hacking their own bodies with sights set on the future.
I've got an implant in my finger. I've got a chip in my hand.
An underground movement known as biohacking is pushing to advance the human race.
Yeah, these citizen scientists are altering cells, DNA, and even hacking themselves by implanting electronic devices into their own bodies.
What I'm interested in is functional implants that can track my health data, that can make me, a stronger, faster, better human.
These biohackers are the experiment, but they emphasize that years of planning and research are put in before they grab the scalpel. Still, not for everybody.
No.
Although, I bet the guy with the magnet in his finger makes a lot of money in bars.
I was going to say, that's quite a pickup line.
Yeah,
like, look at
exactly.
me, I'm going to levitate rock.
Very impressive.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like I said, unless they can come up with a chip that'll clean my house in 1 hour for me, I'm not going to be implanting anything.
We could put a radar in your head or something.
Well, sometimes I feel it's already there.
Yeah, exactly.
The only salvation for this sin is the gospel. The only way to really cure that what's on the inside is understanding that Jesus Christ died for our sins. And so to me, on a micro level, it's understanding.
And just like that, we lost him. I know.
The Israeli Prime Minister has unveiled a new plan to surround the entire state of Israel with a security fence. The barrier would also seal off all openings in the West Bank security wall.
He says it will take several years to build the fence promised by Netanyahu.
Israel is currently building a new fence to protect a newly built Israeli airport just outside the city of Eilat. Now, in a statement, Netanyahu expressed his intention to surround all of the state of Israel with walls and border fences. Essentially, Netanyahu is declaring a new long-term and comprehensive project that will seal off the entire state of Israel to the outside world.
You may have heard in the news that a potentially major discovery on the Golan Heights was made by Genie or AFEC. They have a nearby license. In fact, if you look this way, you can see the general area where they're drilling on the Golan Heights.
Jewish immigration from Western Europe to Israel has reached an all-time high. It's because of rising anti-Semitic attacks.
The Assolan family is among the 8,000 people who emigrated from France to Israel this year.
Part of a multi-year plan to ensure Israel's security.